These Hot Idiots is a podcast featuring our hosts, two full-grown adult men. Together, they watch teen drama and young adult-oriented television shows one episode at a time. These Hot Idiots is a comedy podcast and isn't meant to be taken as real criticism. This podcast uses adult language. Listener discretion is advised.
Hello! Welcome to These Hot Idiots. Brand new podcast straight out of the podcast oven of endless podcasts that you can watch. Actually,
you want another watch/rewatch podcast? No, too bad.
Too bad. I'm gonna try I'm gonna try and not curse for at least the premise in case we have to cut it or anything.
Yeah.
I am Ash.
I'm Mega.
He is Mega. We have been podcasters for, I would say, about 10 years now.
10 years on and off, yeah.
On and off. We make things and then we quit.
And we join things and then we get fired from them.
Yeah, that too. You know, we used to run a wrestling podcast, but we kind of realized that keeping up with modern wrestling and watching these old episodes is just how you burn yourself out in record time.
Oh yeah.
So, in our burnout, we've just been I would say hazy-eyed watching reviews of shit. Oh, well, never mind, it's ruined.
Damn it.
Damn it.
Okay, reviews of various things. We've gotten into the rabbit hole of the hours-long deep dives of media.
And I don't know why, but one specific subject always stands out to me for these hours-long video essay deep dives. And for some reason, it's teenage shows. Shows for teenagers and young adults.
Teen dramas, specifically.
Teen dramas, yes. There's the reviews of Nickelodeon sitcoms. There's reviews of movies.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of other things there's been video
video game retrospectives.
Video game retrospectives, but for some reason, every time someone reviews a teenage drama show, it just goes completely off the rails.
It goes absolutely insane, and we are just wait, really?
And from an outsider's perspective of two guys in their 30s. I'm 29, but we're fudging it a little bit.
You're close then. If you take a year off of me and put it on him, we're both 30.
Yeah. It's just, as someone who's not in that demographic, it's wild. And
it's insane to think about.
It's wild. It's goofy. I don't know how to describe it, but these people are posting about this with the utmost seriousness. I imagine this.
There is a genuine sincerity and love for these shows. They go for seasons on end.
And I want to know why.
We kind of want to know, how do you, what's going on here?
So we're going to do that. We're just going to watch these teenage-oriented shows that are dramas, mostly. And we're going to see why.
Why are people into these hot idiots?
I've described them as these hot idiots when we were watching a review of Riverdale.
We were watching the Eye Patch Wolf video of Riverdale.
Yes.
And it's it's attractive, quote, teenagers.
Attractive
usually in high school.
20/30-year-olds pretending to be teenagers, to be completely fair.
Going through high school and college, life.
Everyone just completely has no social skills whatsoever, even more than real teenagers, because I feel like teenagers have nuance and can understand context, but one guy will say something and then the whole episode
a fight starts
and there's a whole arc about it. So they're hot and they're idiots.
Yes. And that is how we get to these hot idiots. And we're starting off with the first show that I think really started us on this downward spiral. Thanks to Jenny Nicholson, of course.
Yes, Jenny Nicholson, premier person who posts one video every 6 months, but they're an absolute banger.
Yes. I still always check out her Dear Evan Hansen video.
That genre of YouTuber.
Yes.
He has like a D&D podcast, I think.
Yeah, I think she's part of that. Oh wait, no, I think you're thinking of Sarah Zed.
Maybe
Yeah,
he might also have a podcast. No,
but
well, here's the thing.
Mhm.
I don't know if we could call this a hate watch. I don't think it's a hate watch.
I don't particularly hate the Vampire Diaries per se.
I just think it's stupid.
I
and-
just dodged it throughout most of my teen years.
Well, I thought it was like, I'm a teenage male, not my demo. Like
I'm busy watching anime.
He's watching anime. I'm watching shows meant for adults because I wanted to act like I was a grown up. You know?
Yeah. But so we're going straight into the Vampire Diaries.
Starting with episode 1, Pilot.
It's just called Pilot, and that bothers me greatly.
Here's a question.
Yes.
Is this the pilot?
I assume this is the pilot.
Typically when there's a pilot, they'll send it back, make some changes, and then episode 1 is like an adaptation of the pilot.
Oh, you're saying like this is in the test pilot. If I don't know, I'd love to know if somebody has like the unaired test pilot that for this, because I'd kind of love to see like just like say, you know, what was different, the writing or the casting. That would be kind of fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't say it's a hate watch. I just say it's an interest watch of like, we're interested.
We're observing this.
Yes.
We want to study
And
this rich, weird world.
And what a goddamn first episode.
What an amazing start we got here. So we open up with like this couple driving in a car with like some sort of song playing. I can probably pull up like the list.
We have a song list, but I don't know which song it is because they're in alphabetical order, I believe.
Oh no, I got one that looks to be in chronological, thanks to the Vampire Diaries wiki.
Oh, I went to Wikipedia.
Okay, from the looks of it, it would appear to be sort of by Silver Sun Pickups.
I like Silver Sun Pickups. That was like one of the bands I listened to back in my MTV days. They're not a bad band. Give them credit.
Yeah.
So there's a spooky narration in the woods, and these two people are driving a car together, and they're talking about how like, wow, that guy at the club we're leaving, he sure sounded like James Blunt, and then the other guy and the I think that was the girl, and then the guy in the car is like, yeah, we don't need another James Blunt. His name's James Blunt. Why do we have two James Bluntses?
Well, we don't have a James Blunt anymore. I mean, that's not to say that James Blunt is dead.
James Blunt isn't dead. It's just he's doing other shit.
He is pretty much out of relevancy. I feel like he was pretty much wiped from relevancy after his label decided not to let Weird Al release You're Pitiful.
Yeah.
Which I don't put against James Blunt, who by all accounts seems like a cool dude.
Seems like an alright dude. By the way, I'm going to warn anyone who's watching this. I have ADHD.
And I have autism.
And he has autism. I didn't want to be the guy who said it.
Yeah. So this is going to be...
I do not remember names.
He doesn't remember names, and I tend to... My note-taking process is not great. I do think I remember most of the cast's names.
Together we make a fully functioning adult. So...
Or an even less functioning adult.
So they run into a man who's just standing in the middle of the road like a dingus.
He gets hit, and this car spins the fuck out.
It spins out like 4 times. It just crashes into some trees.
I don't think it even crashes. I think it manages to make a successful stop, but it's like the spin that this car gets.
It reminds me of like those old commercials where it's like, don't text or drive. Don't text or drive.
Oh, yeah.
And then the car just gets replaced with like a CG car.
And it fucking runs over like the kids on the picnic. I think
they used a real car though, so I'm going to give them credit.
Yeah, they might. I imagine that TV, like CW, does not give you the budget for a CG car. So hey, good on them. They managed to spin out a real car very well. Hopefully
now
no one
they're
got
like,
hurt.
oh, please don't be dead. Please don't be dead. Even though I was making jokes about, oh, we should back up. Just make sure we don't want like a lawsuit.
You don't want to. Well, you don't want to end up in an "I know what you did last summer" kind of
Yeah,
situation.
you don't want anyone to know what you did last summer.
So you got to make sure the work gets done.
So the man approaches the guy who's on the ground with a ring on his finger. They kind of like note the ring. And then, like, in a really bad sped up way, he sort of gets up and like gets into a back mount on the dude checking out the guy who got hit by a car.
Yes.
And the dude turns out to be a vampire.
And then he yeets this dude right onto the hood of his car.
Yeah, he just throws that some bitch.
And just slam right onto the hood of his car. And the woman's like, ah, and she gets attacked.
Yes.
And that is how the Vampire Diaries starts out. Which just, man, they wanted to let you know this was some vampire shit. And that this ain't Twilight. This ain't gonna be like sterile about it. These vampires are gonna kill.
Yes. So we cut to our main character, Elena. Elena something.
Yes.
I don't remember her last name.
Elena Gilbert.
Elena Gilbert. She's writing in her Vampire Diaries TM.
Yes, she's writing in her diary. We have gotten a vampire and we have gotten a diary. So the show is not lying to us. This is truth in advertising. We appreciate it here.
Her parents are dead.
Her parents are dead. And she's living with her aunt
Jenna. She's got
Jenna.
a brother and her aunt Jenna.
Her brother Jeremy.
Yeah, her brother Jeremy and aunt Jenna. And I don't know if anyone else is in that house.
No one else in the house. There does not appear to be an uncle, so I think Aunt Jenna might be single.
Aunt Jenna doesn't know how to cook, and she's just like, we got toast.
We got toast. Well, it's also they're running a bit late.
Yeah, when you're late for school in anime, you got to
put the toast in your mouth.
Put toast in your mouth, and then you run
out
into the
there.
street and then get hit by a truck. So
yeah, and then you end up in another world.
In another world with my toast.
In my mouth.
In my mouth.
Well, I mean, sometimes it's also you bump into the cute guy, but...
Yeah, so she heads out after, like, Jeremy makes some weird comment about, like, coffee.
I think, yeah, he drinks out of a really big mug of coffee.
He's got a big old mug.
Like, man, how are you going to drink all that coffee?
Man, how you going to drink all that coffee? So, Elena goes to her friend's... I think her friend Bonnie's picking her up.
Yeah, her friend Bonnie's picking her up.
Her exposition-laden friend Bonnie.
She has two exposition friends, and this one is Bonnie.
Yes. Bonnie says that she's a clairvoyant.
And that her family was like part of, like, she was like, they escaped from the Salem witch trials. Which
wink,
is
wink.
already a red flag.
Yeah, also, the Salem witch trials were pretty much like...
Mass hysteria. It was basically...
It was mass hysteria, and also it was getting rid of people they didn't like.
It was just
if you were
like...
gay, single, old, a different skin color. Just whatever.
You had a thing people wanted.
Whatever. Just burn them at the fucking stake. It doesn't matter.
Well, hang them mainly.
Hang them, burn them. Set their house on fire.
bet there was not a lot of burnings in Salem. It was mainly hangings.
Kill their kids.
And one dude getting fucking crushed under stones.
More weight.
More weight. Giles Corey was a goddamn badass.
Bonnie predicts that there will be several spin-offs later, as they almost hit someone with their car as well.
Oh my god.
Almost hit someone, or she hit someone with their car?
I think somebody else gets hit. There is somebody who gets run over at this point.
I think it's like they're driving and then you hear a noise and then it cuts to who got hit or what got hit.
Yeah, somebody got hit. And it's like, how many people are going to get run over on this show already?
So, it's the first day, Elena's back, and they're being chatty Cathy's, Bonnie and her, and then they walk into the school.
Bonnie's like judging people's clothes.
Yeah, and then she drops the T slur.
She drops the T slur. She goes like, "Can I still say T word mess?" And I'm censoring because I don't want to be mean here. But it's just like, our immediate reaction was, no!
No.
You still can't say that.
It's 2009, but you can't do that. The 2000s is a really weird time.
The 2000s to like the early 2010s
where
was
it
like
pushed the envelope so much it ruined an entire generation of people.
Oh my god.
My generation. I curse like a sailor.
I know, but we came out of it not with hateful speech like Bonnie here.
Here's the thing. We do curse a lot. We're gonna try and avoid slurs. We're
Yeah.
leftists. Yeah.
We try not to be assholes, you know?
Yeah, we try to be respectful.
Respectful. Respectable and respectful. Uh,
Okay, I'm trying to remember what happens next. I think that a friend of Elena's talks to Jeremy about
Yeah.
like Air Supply's greatest hits.
Oh, it's Bonnie's talking about. I can't remember if his name was Brad or Matt, but it's Elena's ex.
Brad, her ex is Brad. Brad is
Thank
the
you.
blonde guy with the eyebrows.
With the eyebrows and the kind of big, like he's got a strong chin on him.
He's got a strong chin. He asks Bonnie, like, what's up with Elena? And then it somehow peters into talking about Air Supply's greatest hits. This was probably written by a 40-year-old man.
On my notes, yeah, this is written by a 40-year-old Air Supply reference.
Who the fuck is a teenager listening to Air Supply in the 2000s?
Listening to Air Supply specifically, like you might hear like All Out of Love in like the wild, like it'll show up on a TV show, but you're not actively seeking out Air Supply.
Yeah. So we get some more like sequences in the school just showing everyone mingling and stuff. And then we get Elena's acquaintance Vicky, who's just doing crack.
I don't think she's actually she's an acquaintance of Vicky. I think she's Jeremy's ex.
Jeremy's ex? Okay, yeah.
Like she and Jeremy like fucked for a bit. Like they had a fling of some kind.
She is with the most handsome crackheads you've ever seen.
These kids are very attractive for doing drugs. And I guess maybe they're just kind of starters on addiction.
So
but
she looks at Jeremy and just was like, wow, nice Pete Wentz eyeliner.
Oh yeah, it's like Pete Wentz wants his eyeliner. It might have been the dude in that scene. I think it's
it might have
Tyler.
been the dude. This isn't exactly fresh or a day out. Normally I'd want to like watch the episode and then record right away, but things happened.
Yeah, mainly we were watching Dynamite.
We were watching AEW Dynamite.
But yeah, they get like a TRL, like Pete Wentz, TRL, and Carson Daly.
Wentz, TRL, Carson Daly. That is like the trio of like these people are not 16.
Yeah.
Or the writers are not teenagers.
The weird thing is like I don't know how we're supposed to interpret the Pete Wentz thing. Because, like, Filet Du was still releasing singles at this point in time.
Yeah, Filet Du was releasing singles. I think they were about to go on a hiatus.
This was, like, Filet Du was their last pre-hiatus single. That was, like, their heading out.
They go over here, Fall Out Boy fan. Me, Fall Out Boy-ish fan.
I mean, I'm a Fall Out Boy fan in that I enjoy their singles. I don't think I've ever really seen them in concert. But I mean, also
they're not a bad band. They're pretty good for They're pretty good. They stood out because they weren't 100% emo. Like a lot of other emo bands. They weren't
always hating their hometown.
Yeah, that's a common trope. Or talking about a breakup.
Yeah.
It seems like they had things to talk about.
Yeah.
Which makes them unique. They're not like Hawthorne Heights.
God.
So, eventually this ends up with Jeremy going to the restroom.
Yeah.
And I think
Elena follows him in.
I thought it was Vicky. Actually, it might be Elena.
Elena follows him in to narc on him.
I'm sorry, they're both brunettes.
They're both brunettes. They look very similar at times, so it does throw you off. Don't worry, we'll have a way to differentiate them soon.
Soon. We're learning these characters as we go, besides like a 2-hour Jenny Nicholson video.
Yeah.
He just talks about, she talks about, why are your eyes so red? Are you, doing drugs again? Or is that a weed?
Is that a weed?
And he's just like, get off my back, I'm fine. And then she's like, that's stoner talk.
Well, she's like, I think he says to, chill yourself or something.
Chill yourself.
And it's like, chill myself? What is that, stoner talk? And it's like, what?
This is embarrassing.
Fucking narc ass Elena.
Narc ass narc. So after like getting frustrated by her brother's antics, she sort of steps out of the men's restroom and runs into a 28-year-old man.
He is, oh my god, he is like the most 28-year-old man here.
Square jaw, like thick eyebrows, like perfect brown quiff of hair.
This
Needed
dude
a
is
guy who
not a
looked kind
teenager.
of like Edward, so he's got a big old forehead.
Oh yeah,
And this is Stefan.
Stefan. And now we have to, and because we do know that Stefan is a vampire. Like
Yes,
I know that that's kind of
yeah.
slightly like they're trying to build that up, but we kind of know heading in. So now
Vampire
we have the
Diaries,
question.
there's vampires.
So now we have the question to ask: do vampires pee?
That's a good question, because he said he was going to use the restroom.
And it's like, I guess, I mean, I think we do see him drinking non-blood fluids later. I think
the rule is they can drink stuff that isn't blood, it's just it doesn't nourish them in any way.
doesn't nourish them, so they're just pissing beer out later, I guess.
Yeah. And then I was like, do vampires... Because a lot of vampires in media, they'll cry blood. And I was thinking, do they pee blood too?
God, that's gotta be real awkward if he doesn't flush.
To have blood, you have to run... Like, to need blood, you have to be running out, right? You can't just keep blood in you forever. It's going to come out. So are you peeing out the blood?
That is a great question. Or does your body just kind of like absorb the blood in some way that just isn't like pumping it?
So
There's a lot of questions
after a meet cute out of the women's bathroom or men's bathroom, we cut to them in class talking about the Civil War with the rudest fucking teacher I've ever heard of.
I don't think that we're at the scene where this.
We're not at the scene where he's extremely rude, but he's at the scene where they're like, the Civil War was because of states' rights. Because this is Virginia. So
yes, it is very awkward.
It's just like accurate Virginia school, just completely sidestepping the fact this is about racism.
And about slavery, yes.
Yes.
We're gonna get.
But Bonnie texts Elena pretty much saying like, "Hot E staring at you." It's like,
who's Hot E?
Hot E.
It's like HAWT. Is it like a hyphen or is it just
HAWT hyphen E staring at sign U, letter U.
I wasn't sure if there was a hyphen or if it was just a hot and then space E.
I think smartphones were a thing back then.
Yeah.
So you could type that out with one hand. It's fine.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe smartphones were around in 2009. If not, they weren't wide. I mean, even if they were, maybe they weren't widespread yet.
She looks back, and yeah, Stefan's like staring at her, kind of doing that kind of like that stare where you're kind of looking up at them through your eyebrows.
Yeah,
kind of like the mysterious gaze.
Yeah, it's trying to do the Edward Cullen stare.
Yeah.
I know it seems unfair to compare it to Twilight, but let's be honest, that was the mission statement.
Show. This is like 1 or 2 years after Twilight. They were trying to hit that dip. They were trying to hit They were trying to hit that boost. You know.
That was like because everyone was getting on that.
Even like fucking. You know the names of the people who made Vampire movie or Sucks.
Vampire Sucks.
Vampire Sucks.
Oh yeah, fucking. Seltzer and Freeberg.
Yeah, everyone was trying to get in on it.
It was actually like, it was like, this was released 1 year after the movie, and I think there was like, how many books were out for Twilight at this point?
2?
Like, God, they might have had all of them out by then.
I think they had I think they had the trilogy.
They were all, actually it was all 4.
Oh. So,
Breaking Dawn was out.
It was cool to hate Twilight at the time as a
But if you wanted to make money in the entertainment business at the time, you
Twilight.
had to fucking you were either aping Twilight or you were aping the Hunger Games.
Get the color grading. Get a hot brunette guy with a big forehead. You know?
That was the game.
Even iCarly did like a Twilight episode.
They did a Twilight episode. Supernatural did one. Everyone. It was just that was the game at the time.
I don't hate Twilight. It's just not
it's
super
bad,
well. It's just
but
not good.
it's just rage is not necessary with it.
It's so mid that you can't. I feel like being angry about it is a waste of time.
Yeah.
There's a lot worse, like, young adult media out there. Shit's great.
I don't even know if that one counts as young adult. That's just straight up adult.
Yeah, but the person who wrote it was a Twilight fanfic writer.
Yes.
And then they had like a good first movie adaptation, and then she crashed the whole thing into the fucking ground.
She was difficult even during the first adaptation.
Yeah.
Like, she had a lot more creative control than I would give anyone.
So Elena goes out of class after that kind of like stare and goes to the graveyard where her parents are buried to write a diary entry.
We have like another song play, and I haven't really been keeping track of the songs, but this is around the point where I started.
It's a
where I
40-minute
said,
episode, and there's like 10 songs that play. I would say
there's like 12.
there's 12 songs that play. That's like, this is pretty much an album show.
I put in my notes, the show makes its own AMVs.
I think unmusicked sections of the show are fewer than music sections of the show.
Like, if I were to guess based on memory and kind of a rough idea of the voices I was hearing throughout, like the musicians playing, I'd say we have passed "Here We Go" by Matt Kearney, who I've never heard of, and "Consoler of the Lonely" by the Raconteurs.
Raconteurs. That is Jack White's band when the White Stripes broke up for brief time because they were getting a divorce, I believe.
Ooh.
And then Jack White went solo, and then he got the Raconteurs again. I would say listen to "Steady as She Goes." That's a good song.
And also he did Jack Gray for a bit.
Yeah, Jack Gray. I forgot about that.
His collaboration with Jack Black.
Yeah.
Music is great.
I am the music guy of the two of us. I love music. I know
he'll recognize a lot of the more obscure acts.
I am well versed in music. I listen to a lot of metal, but I listen to a bunch of other stuff too. And I can say I recognize about half of these songs.
Yeah,
so she's writing in her journal about I don't want to
her vampire diary.
Her vampire diary TM. About how, like, everyone's asking if she's fine, but they don't mean it. Because she says she's fine, but they don't, like, dig further and ask if she's really fine. And she's not fine. But she says she's fine, and that she'll smile, but not actually smile because she isn't fine. You know. That. Get it?
You need to find the... You know, they ask you, how are you? And you had to say you're fine, but you're not fine, and trying to get that Katy Perry quote or whatever it was.
And then someone brings over a fog machine.
And then comes the fog and the crows. There were crows before, but
there were crows before. There would just be like, it would cut to a crow, and then the crow would fly off, that kind of thing. But now the crows are like harassing Elena.
I like how the crows I like how the gravestones for like Elena's parents don't have their birth dates listed.
That's strange.
That's weird to me.
They would usually have their birth date and their death date, right?
Right. But it's more it just has their date of death, and it's like,
just that's a gravestone that says parents.
Parents.
Parents. Dead.
R.I.P. Parent mom, and parent dad. Died on dead.
Died on episode 1.
Died before episode 1.
So she gets skeezed by all these frickin' crows calling at her.
A lot of crows in Virginia, huh?
Let me check out like crow flight patterns.
Figure out if they actually go to Virginia.
Yeah, I'm just gonna look up crow flight patterns.
Yeah.
Okay, wrong. Crow migration patterns is what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are crows in Virginia.
Oh, cool.
They are permanent residents of Virginia, actually.
Ooh.
Cool.
Interesting. Yeah.
So she runs about 15 feet, down a hill and then just trips on nothing and falls on her face.
Not just nothing. No one's chasing her or anything. She has no reason to be this like fucking like running at this pace or this clip, and it's just like she just stumbles and falls on nothing.
Yeah, and Stefan's there. He's just like chilling in the graveyard with his hands in his pockets. And he's like, "Oh shit, Elena, are you okay, man?" And she's like, "Heh, I'm fine, but I'm not fine. But I mean I'm fine when I say I'm fine, but I'm not actually fine."
Are you stalking me? What are you doing in the in the cemetery, you
What are
weirdo?
you doing in the
Like
cemetery? I'm writing a journal.
Well, because she's like she's acting like he's being weird, just being in a cemetery. Like she's not just doing that right now.
Also, doesn't the cemetery have like a cemetery entrance person to
Yeah,
like, "Hey, I'm Elena. My parents are buried here. I'm gonna go into the cemetery."
yeah,
Like some kind of groundskeeper.
yeah. Like a groundskeeper. Yeah. Like I just think it's weird that she's trying to act like he's stalking her when it could be just like you don't know why he's at the cemetery. And he says like, "Oh, my parents died here," or something. That's like, and she's like, "Oh,
Same.
yeah." So it's like, "Oh, sorry."
And he
But and
asks
then
if she's okay, and then she reveals this like really gross looking like shin injury that she got.
Oh my god, we before we talk about the shin injury, we also got to talk about her like describing Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds, where it's like that one Hitchcock
It's like that.
movie
It's like that Hitchcock movie with birds. You know,
with birds in it.
with the
But
birds.
it's like the way she describes it, it just made me think like it's very Hitchcock in the way that there were birds that were in the cemetery.
Remember when there were birds in the cemetery? I would make a joke about Alfred Hitchcock, but I haven't watched much of his movies. All I know
It's
is
not bad.
look at this old man smiling, and then look at the bikini. He's happy about her boobies.
Yes,
Alfred Hitchcock.
Alfred Hitchcock. Uh what I remember was like, yeah, when she pulled up her leg or she pulled up like her pant leg, like the cuff of her pants, and she's just got this like almost a gash on her leg, on her shin, like you said.
I'm trying to like she was wearing like jeans, I
She
think.
was wearing jeans, and somehow she managed to like, just it's like
During
fucking
Halloween,
gnarly.
like when I was like 11, I went as I think it was supposed to be Ghostface, but I didn't have the ghost face. I just had like a hockey mask. So it was like a hockey mask ghost face. And no one cared because I was 10.
Jason face.
Jason face. And I tripped on a big bag of dog food when I was trick-or-treating with my friend Mark, and I fell onto the fence. It's a metal fence. It was like a metal spiked fence.
Ooh.
And the fence went through my knee. Like out in one side and out the back.
Ah.
But it didn't hit anything, and I got it off. And I didn't even know it did that. I was just like, I'm bleeding, I need to go home. And, you know, my dad, who's an EMT, he was an EMT, like, he went and looked at it, and it was nowhere near as bad as this.
It was nowhere near as bad as this somehow.
Fun fact. We used duct tape to patch it up.
And here's the thing, you weren't wearing, like, thick jeans of any kind.
No, I was wearing, like, you know that material you get for Halloween costumes where it's like a very thin, stretchy material?
Yeah, it's just a thin bit of fabric.
Yeah, that's what I was wearing.
That's what you were wearing. You somehow did less damage than whatever the fuck Elena did to her leg.
I still have the scar on my knee, by the way. It doesn't hurt.
I'd imagine.
It doesn't hurt. It's there.
Yeah. And she's like trying to play it off, but it's like you're bleeding. And that's supposed to be like the hint
vampire,
like,
the tempt, like, I want that shin, bunny. Give me that.
He wants to get some of that shin.
I want some of that shin. So they sort of pivot to talking about the weird ring he wears, and like he's weirdly defensive about having a ring, and it's just like, guys can have rings, whatever.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Who gives a shit? Let a man wear a ring. I mean, there's a reason for it later, but it's like, man, just leave him alone.
Then
Wear a ring, Elena.
They sort of leave the graveyard together, and then there's a scene of is
I
it
think they're both
Elena?
writing in their diaries.
They're both writing in their diaries, Vampire Diaries.
Their vampire diaries, yes.
They're Vampire Diaries, and
Oh,
we
I
cut.
think this is when Caroline comes in, right? Or is that later? That's a little later.
I think Caroline showed up when they were in high school, but she didn't say anything of note.
Okay, yeah. But yeah, so they're both writing their diaries. I don't remember much of this part of the episode.
They go to
Unless,
it cuts to a scene at a diner with like Jeremy and a couple other people, I
I think
think.
Bonnie's there.
Yeah, Bonnie's there, and I think
Then that's when Caroline comes in and starts kind of explaining. Unless that was in a classroom scene. Vague recollection, but I'm just going off my notes. Oh wait, no, there was a diner scene. You're right.
Yeah, there's a diner scene, and one of them was working as a waitress.
Yeah, I think it might have been Vicky. Or no, it was Elena. It was Elena. It was Elena working at a diner.
And they were talking about her relationship with Matt. And one of the characters says the line, "When is the last time you've had sex with a puppy?"
It was Jeremy talking to Vicky because they were also talking about like how their relationship.
They
had
were
gone
trying to
south or
cross
something.
the streams a little bit on the story and have everyone talking about different stuff. That's when
About
Caroline
the
starts talking about
relationship.
how depressed she is that Stefan pretty much not doesn't give a crap about her. And she's trying to
I think
she's
that's
trying to
later.
Yeah, but she briefly mentions that like Stefan, every time I like make a pass at him, he's been ignoring me.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
she's gonna make a pass at him again later, and then he
At a
rejects
party.
her outright. But
But right now she's kind of stonewalling him. I remember this being the scene where they play One Republic.
yeah,
This is where they play Say
play
All
One
I
Republic,
Need.
and like, okay, I think it like cuts back to Stefan at Elena's house, but he can't go inside
Yes,
because
that's
he's
right.
a vampire.
Because she has to invite him inside.
Yes.
Which is such an odd but kind of classic like vampire rule.
Look, my rule for vampires is if you can work it in a logical and interesting way, I'm cool with it. Like if it's about running streams and you can make it interesting, go for it. If it's about throwing fucking rocks on the ground and having the vampire count them,
Like the counting shit, that's
Yeah.
always interesting.
but if you can make it work, I love vampires having logical weaknesses, not logical, you know what I mean, traditional weaknesses.
Yeah.
I felt like they kind of kid gloves Twilight a lot with the vampires with the sparkly.
They don't even
They're not
have
even
any
weakened.
weakness.
They're not even weakened in the sunlight.
Which is what Dracula was. Like if you read like classic Dracula.
Classic Dracula is weakened in the sunlight. He's closer
he
to
can't
human.
use his powers, yeah.
That's like
he doesn't
completely
burst into
different.
flames, but yeah. But yeah, so Stefan can't get in to the house because he's not been invited, and that's a really neat thing.
So I think the diner scene is an extended scene because like Stefan and Elena show up at the diner together.
And that's when Caroline starts talking about just Stefan. She starts telling people.
I think
about
she just
Stefan.
said that Stefan's hot. I think that was
Yeah.
that was what she said before they showed up. And
Right.
then Matt's just talking to Bonnie and Caroline about how like, do you think I still got a chance with her?
Yeah.
And then they walk in like it's some big melodramatic resolvement of like, you ain't getting back with her.
You ain't getting back with her. It's over for you, Matt.
It's over for you, Matt. She just met this guy who looks like a 30-year-old. Get the fuck out. And like the songs, so like the music swells and it's like, I'm over you.
Yeah.
I don't understand the lyrics.
There's a bunch of other songs that are also in play that I don't even notice at some point because there's just so many. Because some of them are just background noise to a degree. At some point, there's a Stars song. There's a Katy Perry song in there somewhere.
There's an MGMT song. I love MGMT.
When they get to the party scene, there'll be an MGMT song, Kids, and it's like, man, that's fucking.
I don't have a lot of notes about the diner scene post Elena and Stefan going there.
Mm. I don't think my notes are never great. Because I know I have a note here, and it's about when Caroline starts talking about Stefan's family, and I feel like that's a classroom scene, unless it is a diner scene.
I think she just starts establishing that like it's either at school or it's here, where they talk about how he's from like a military family and they move every couple of years and his parents passed away recently.
Which is a really good, like, that's a really clever cover.
That's a good cover. I gotta
That's
give
a
him
good
credit.
cover because vampires always have to be on the move, or else people are gonna start noticing that they don't age, or the people keep disappearing, and it's like, well, now they're just always on the move because they're a military family.
Yeah, I don't know what else happens in the diner.
I don't know what else happens in the diner much. I think at some point, Stefan goes home and he's confronted by a character who I don't
I
fucking know the
think
name of.
is his nephew. All I know is he's wearing like a sweater. And the sweater guy talks about how like, hey man, I thought we had this whole thing under control. You see on this newspaper that like two people got maimed outside their car in the woods, and you know, animals don't maim people like that. I know it's you. Stefan's like, it wasn't me. I don't know what you're talking about, man.
And it's like, I think, was it him? Yeah, it was either him or it was the other guy.
I think it's the other guy because it's
Hmm.
they kind of do the red herring thing with him of like, oh, he's
Ah.
attacking people, but he's not actually attacking people. That's his brother.
Hmm.
You know,
And I
just
think this
they come to blows over like emotional blows, they verbal
emotional
blows
Yeah.
over this whole thing, and Stefan just marches into his room to write in his diary.
And then I get floored here because then we get a cover of Running Up That Hill by
Oh
it's
yeah,
done
he
by the
grabs
band
his diary
Placebo.
and then he looks at the picture of the girl that looks like Elena from like the 1700s or
Yeah.
1800s. I don't remember her
And fuck
name. They'll say it later.
Catherine.
Catherine. Yeah.
Yeah. And fucking Running Up That Hill by Placebo starts playing, and this fucking like, because this is like, we're in a post Stranger Things like era where like now the Kate Bush original is like really well known
I
and
really
popular.
like Kate Bush. I
Yes.
like a lot of her songs and dislike one of her songs.
Do not bring up Wuthering Heights to Ash. He really is not
Cloud
happy with it.
Bursting is a fucking amazing song. I love Cloud Bursting.
Is it Cloud Bursting or Cloud Busting?
It might
I
be
think it's
Cloud Busting. I don't know.
Yeah.
But that song's great.
That
So is
song's
Running Up
great.
That Hill. It's a little overplayed nowadays, but that's not a problem.
It's not. That just means everyone's appreciating good music.
Yeah, I like Babushka and a bunch of other songs. So now we cut to back to class on the next day of school.
Ah, here we go. Here's the scene we were talking about.
He is talking. The teacher's talking about a particular battle that took place in Mystic Falls during the Civil War.
The fictional Virginia town. It's not a fictional town in.
I think it's a real area, but a fictional town.
Yeah. Or it's like it was like maybe it was a different fictional town in the books. But in the show it's called Mystic Falls.
So
And it's like
the teacher's like reading out that this battle took place, and you know there were casualties, and then he starts asking the class questions. But for some reason, he is a complete asshole.
he's a dick.
He is a terrible teacher. Like I think he asked Matt.
He asked Matt, or I think there's another kid called Brad. I keep thinking there's a Brad in this show, but I could be wrong.
Brad. Just like, hey man, can you answer this question about how many casualties there were in this battle, and like
Not be such a stereotypical
such a
jock.
stereotypical jock.
And we're just like, holy shit, we thought we had come up with this kind of a character as a joke. Of like the teacher that just hates his students who are getting into all this teen drama shit around him.
Yeah, but like then he asks another person the question.
I think he asked Elena.
He asks Elena, and then starts talking about how, like, she really needs to keep up on her studies. I'm not just babysitting you, you stupid little kid. Like, why don't you understand that, we're running a class here and I expect you to do a good goddamn job? And she's like, her parents fucking died.
You prick.
Fuck you.
She's back from bereavement.
She's back from bereavement. When my mom died, everyone, when I came back, was so, like, it's weird. Like, all these people who barely talked to me were, like, checking on me to see if I was all right and stuff.
Yeah.
And they knew that, like, I'm probably not going to be, like, fully work ready on my way back. And, like, this guy's like, why weren't you fucking studying? What the fuck?
What the hell, Elena?
And Stefan's
stupid.
And then Stefan just interjects while he's chewing her ass about, there was this many, like, casualties of war, and then civilians.
And then they're not counting civilian casualties, and it's like, the teacher's like, yeah, fuck you, there were no civilian casualties.
Fuck you, there was no civilian casualties. And then Stefan's like, there were like 27. And then the teacher just kind of like glares at him.
It's like, my God. I've never seen a school this, but I've never seen a high school.
Looks like you're the history teacher now.
And it's like,
just starts throwing shit.
Oh my God, I wish that was the case.
Like, is this guy 3 seconds from quitting? Or is he just a cunt?
If we see him again, he's just a cunt.
I can't believe how rude this fucking teacher is.
He's an asshole.
Great.
It was amazing. It was such a shock.
So I think one of the things they talked about at the diner was there was going to be a party later.
Yes, that's where the kids was playing. Unless that wasn't where kids was playing.
They were in, like, the woods next to, like, a semi-finished cabin.
Yeah.
And it looks almost exactly like the cabin in Mandy, where the cult kidnaps Nicolas Cage's wife and sets her on fire. And, like, you think that, like, Nicolas Cage would be nail-gunned to a tree just crying and screaming while these kids are dancing and drinking beer.
Underage drinking.
Oh, yeah, underage drinking.
Stefan shows up to the party, and he's, like, kind of trying to eavesdrop in on
He's
Elena.
Eavesdropping with his advanced hearing. He's trying to find Elena, who's talking about him in the distance, like, well, he's cute, but I don't know him that well, and he gives me weird vibes.
And meanwhile, I'm just thinking, super hearing would actually kind of suck.
I just thought about, like, what if you get one of those, like, super hearing sensors, and you, like, peer through a crowd, and then someone just, like, sharts in the distance.
You're just hearing all the farts. That's what super hearing will do. It'll make your hearing so strong that you'll just hear just so much fart.
Have you ever had someone burp in your ear? God damn.
No, and I'm very grateful.
Like,
like, oh God. It's like how I feel about Twilight with the whole like Edward Cullen hearing everyone's thoughts. Can you imagine how awful that would actually be?
I'm trying to tune them out. They just keep talking about shows I haven't watched.
Fucking also high school where everyone is just constantly on edge.
They're
with
letting
anxiety
the intrusive thoughts win.
The intrusive thoughts. It'd be the worst. I can't imagine living Edward Cullen's life. I'd probably just end up killing everyone just to get some quiet.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was my phone.
So Elena and Bonnie and Carolyn are talking about, like, oh, so Bonnie, you're like a psychic or something, right? You can see the future? Well, what if this beer I'm holding is a crystal ball? And I'm thought, that's stupid. And then they hand the beer to her and it works.
It works, yeah. Elena, like, hands her a beer to hold as a crystal ball so she can predict Elena's future.
Even though she already predicted her future is going to be awesome and good things are going to happen to her. But
you're going to be always happy all the time.
We're not going to have 8 seasons of horse shit happen to us.
It's not going to be that way. gonna be totally awesome.
So she gets like this weird thing in her head.
She gets a vision.
Gets a vision of something strange happening, and she drops the beer, and she's visibly uncomfortable, and she just like bolts out of the scene. And
Well,
then
she
Stefan,
also, I think she rambles a bit to Elena about how, like, I saw like fog and a crow
I saw a fog
and
and a
man,
crow and a man,
and he was in the rafters and he had a baseball bat. Okay, that part wasn't.
He's coming to stop the NWO, Elena. Don't you understand?
The NWO, they're coming.
The
Mystic
NWO,
Falls.
the NWO is coming to Mystic Falls, Virginia.
Actually, I think it would have probably been Immortal at this time. Immortal, don't you get it?
They're
The impact
here
zone.
at the impact zone.
Here.
And Jeff
Yeah.
Hardy.
So yeah, Elena's having herself Bonnie's having a vision about. I think it's implying like it's red herring us to think, oh, she's having a vision about Stefan, but
Yeah, she's having a vision about Stefan being skeezy and being
Yeah.
like some not human.
or it turns out it's gonna be Damon, but
Jeremy's there too, and he's getting fucked up.
he's getting fucked up and busting up a rape attempt.
He gets fucked up and bust up a rape attempt. They also talk about Elena's parents here with Bonnie about how they died driving off a bridge.
Yeah. No, the scene with like Vicky and Tyler was just like, wow, this is fucking
Yeah,
weird.
Tyler forces Vicky against a tree and is like not letting her get away. So Jeremy just like shoves him off.
And it's like, hey, she said no.
She said no, dummy. So
And
he's
like then they
I'll get
argue
you next
a
time,
bit.
Gadget, and then he runs off.
And then they argue a bit, and it's like, I don't know. I feel like, my brain just stopped again.
Well, they argue. She talks about how like I can see that you're drunk. Like you got red eyes. You're drunk, and you're not making any sense. I am in control of my own destiny over here. Like I don't need your help.
And also, sort of you're pathetic, Jeremy. You're still clinging to me, even though I was just a cheap lady. It was sort of like that.
Yeah. So Jeremy storms off in frustration and being drunk, and then the fog machine comes back and starts fogging up the place with Vicky over there.
Yeah. And she gets attacked. I don't think we actually see straight up the attack, but I think it's pretty much.
It's implied that she's attacked.
Yeah.
Then we cut back with I think it's Stefan on a bridge. No, it's Matt and Elena on a bridge, and they're talking about their relationship.
Is it Matt and Elena? It probably is. Yeah. Yeah, they're
and
talking.
She started talking
bridge.
about like, oh, we were friends, and we were friends as kids, and we just sort of thought, we've been friends for so long, we just might as well take a swing at it, see if we are like compatible or not.
Oh yeah, I think yeah, you're talking. I think she's talking about she's talking to Stefan about her relationship with Matt and how there was no passion. And sometime later, Matt tells Elena I still believe in us.
Yeah, I might be condensing two scenes together, but it's
Yeah,
back to
there's a lot
back.
of-
Like I don't feel a certain way towards Matt, but Matt feels a certain way towards me.
And Caroline's trying to hit on Stefan, and
Caroline's like,
no.
hey, hi, cutie. And Stefan's like, I do not care about you.
It's just a straight up no.
You're dead to me.
It's not even a you're dead to me. It's just like no.
Yeah, he just shuts her down, and then she's about to cry. And then they found Vicky. Vicky's been attacked. Oh my god.
I thought she was dead. Surprisingly, she survives this.
She was fine.
She was fine. I was.
All things
I was
considered,
like-
she's fine.
I mean, she got bit in the neck and all, but
She got
she's
neck
still
bit,
okay.
but she is fine.
And they're loading her into the ambulance.
They're loading
and
her
you
into the
pointed out-
ambulance, and then Matt just glares at Stefan.
He's giving Stefan he's looking at him crossways, and we're just like,
I know you did something. That kind of look.
and
And
it's like,
you
what
have
do you
no
suspect him of doing?
you have no reason to suspect Stefan. Like,
You have no
he's...
reason to suspect there's any vampires at this
You
point.
don't even know there's fucking vampires. Why are you looking at him?
Like, why do you think he attacked Vicky?
And I think the writers are just like, yeah, he's on to him. He's on to him, all right.
But
he
why?
He knows something. And it's just like, no, he doesn't. He doesn't know shit.
I would just as soon suspect Jeremy than suspect Stefan.
You'd think it would be like Jeremy would be under like false pretenses. Like, hey, you wandered off with Vicky.
Jeremy, Tyler, one of those two
you
who are
wandered off
actually
with
around
Vicky, and like you came back and you looked like somebody. You looked like you saw a ghost, and like you didn't want to talk to me. And then we find Vicky unconscious and bleeding. What the fuck's up with that?
You'd think there'd be a connecting thread here to Matt's suspicions beyond just his jealousy, and it's like, what would he even suspect him of? Like, she got bit in the neck. I like, you just as quickly assume an animal attacked her,
or something like a bear. There's bears in the woods.
But this sets. I think we go to commercial when we come back. Like, Stefan has already made it back to his house.
Stefan beelines it home and tells Sweater Guy, that like someone got attacked in the woods. It wasn't me.
Yeah, I didn't do it. I swear. And this starts up like. Eventually, he finally confronts his brother, Damon.
Damon. I thought it was Damien. I don't know why.
It sounds like that's what they're going for, but no, it's Damon.
Damon and his stupid ass hair.
and like
It's
crows
just
a bit
like
much, don't you think?
Ashton Kutcher hair.
It is very Ashton Kutcher.
Like singer or like lead singer from like a 2008 band.
Guy trying to look like Dave Grohl.
Guy trying to look kind of mix of Dave Grohl and the dude from Under Oath. Or like the dude from I don't remember this. Oh, the dude from Taking Back Sunday.
The dude from Taking Back Sunday. Just big old fringe on this dude.
This guy is overacting to shit.
It is very much. I think Jenny Nicholson compared it to Zoolander. To like Ben Stiller's
I still feel like
she
was talking about a different character.
She might have been talking about a different character, and I might be confusing it like with their comparison to him and
this guy is like he is all in on the weird side eyes, and I would say mannerisms akin to like almost a Johnny Depp character.
Yeah. He's like, wait till you see what I do with the fog.
they love the fog.
Stefan's all like, crow's a bit much, don't you think? And you see what I do with the fog. And it's like, it's a wonderfully, they start arguing over the attacks.
Yeah, they argue over the attacks, and he's just like, come on, man, you're like eating squirrels in the woods or whatever. You haven't had real blood in like a decade or whatever. And remember when you had a mullet?
He had a grunge look. Is the thing, and it's like, you can't tease me like this show. You can't tease promise me
Stefan in like flannel and jeans
flannel.
and a mullet.
I want to see that now. You gotta give it to me. You gotta give us the goods here.
Also, Damon saying that he looks dated when he looks like 2005 became a person.
He does. He almost looks like Topher Grace as Venom. Or not Topher Grace, fucking Tobey Maguire when he was possessed by the symbiote.
Tobey Maguire when he's just like trying to act out of character from like Peter Parker.
Trying to be all tough and stuff.
And it's like, this ain't it.
Oh my god, it's basically, yeah.
It's hilarious.
It's amazing. Eventually, like, it gets physical.
It gets
like,
physical,
Damon
and
just
Damon
constantly,
overpowers
like,
him.
Like, Damon's just constantly, like, smacking Stefan.
He just walks up and he slaps him in the face like 5 times.
It's like, stop hitting me!
Stop hitting me!
And then Damon just fucking spears, or Stefan just fucking spears him through the window.
Yeah, Stefan spears him through the window after his face does like it does like the Charmed or Buffy the Vampire Slayer thing where they like overlay evil on his face for a second.
Yeah, he gets the like monster face where it's like, "Rah!" Like
Spears him through the fucking window and onto the floor of next to a fountain. And then when
Like,
Stefan gets back up, Damon's already up and he's just like, that was lame.
he wasn't like he didn't even actually get hit.
I'll
You
give
know,
that
like,
I'll give that like a 6 out of 10.
he kind of like it's like he managed to dodge roll the spear.
Yes. He rolled out of it. He rolled it into a DDT.
Yeah. God. And they keep fighting. It's very fun.
They talk for a little bit, and then Damon just like walks up, grabs him by the throat, and then he's lifted via wire and flies into like a shed.
It's like choke tossed. They bring up the fact that like this is where they bring up the ring, and the ring is like it's a family ring that protects you from the sun. And like I think that's how he gets him in the choke, like in the choke position, is he kind of like is handing
Oh yeah, he's
Stefan
handing him
the
back
ring.
his ring because the sun's coming up and they need the ring to protect themselves from being set on fire.
Otherwise they'll go up like Count von Raschke.
Count von Raschke.
About like maybe 5 of you who watch this are gonna get that.
Your board games, yeah.
Yee.
So yeah, they scrap, and then Damon just sort of laughs at the fact that like Stefan's clearly weaker from the fact he doesn't drink human blood.
He drinks animal blood, which makes him weak, which is very silly because
Then we sort of cut to like the emergency services have arrived to pick up Vicky, take her to the hospital, and the police are there to investigate. And like Jeremy's just sitting there with Elena, and he's just drinking beer.
This is gonna turn into that fucking like the one thing you can't replace bit from John Mulaney. It's just like Jeremy's just gonna go fuck the police, and everyone's gonna join him.
Yeah.
Someone's gonna like throw down a 40 and yell scatter.
Scatter.
It is just like you're all going to jail now.
And then like fucking Elena just will keep looking at Jeremy, and he keeps drinking the beer, and then it would cut to the police, and then Jeremy, and then he'd drink more beer.
It's like, man, they are gonna have to wheel out the paddy wagon hard.
It's just like, this is stupid.
Like Elena starts talking about how I don't remember what it was. She's ragging on Jeremy for something.
She's rattled because of what happened, and also Jeremy drinking, and also the attack.
But like she rags on Jeremy for something, and I
think
can't
it's like
remember
keeping
what it
her, like getting his, like turning his back on Vicky or something. I don't know.
Or no, he needs to get on track because everyone's already forgotten their parents died and something like that.
Yeah, it was something like that.
But it's like I'm over here thinking, Elena, somebody just got fucking attacked.
Elena, let's do this later.
let's not have this talk about Jeremy's like Jeremy has every right to be feeling fucked up. The girl he was like in a relationship of some kind with just got fucking like mauled by like
he doesn't know if she's
or
alive or not.
It's very touch and go.
It's very touch and go, and she's chewing him out.
And she's chewing him out, and then we cut to like Bonnie and Caroline at the diner.
Bonnie and Caroline at the diner, and Caroline's like, Stefan said no.
No, he likes me. It's like, Caroline, somebody got fucking attacked.
Someone got attacked by a bear, like,
or a wolf.
Or a wolf.
Or probably like a very like irked raccoon.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
What is wrong with you people? I think Bonnie's the only one of the girls who has her head on right. Everyone else is like going on about other stuff, and it's like, Vicky got attacked. I feel like there's... Hello?
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Sorry, audio fucked up.
How's the recording? How's the recording?
Audio went out for a second, but we're back.
I hope to God the recording's fine.
You'll just have to repeat the last, like, 15 seconds of what you said.
Just more or less that I think Bonnie's the only one who's, like, got her head on right now.
Yeah, and she's just like, Why are you so upset about one guy rejecting you?
But one guy.
It's not a competition. And then Caroline's like, yes, it is.
And it's like,
And
Vicky's in the hospital right now.
it's just like, that's the thing you're upset about, and not the fact that like one of your fellow students and someone that you
You at least know
her is like in critical condition.
is laid up in the hospital, probably attacked by some form of animal.
But Stefan said he doesn't like me. I hate Caroline.
She's not. I hope she does get better, but this is a bad
I'm all right with
first
Bonnie.
impression. But Bonnie's been fine. Bonnie has not gone out of her way to annoy me. She's the only one with her head on right now.
So, we kind of do a montage of Stefan and Elena writing in their Vampire Diary TMs about depression and his brother and feeling fine, but you're not fine, but you say you're fine, but you don't feel fine, and you're not fine, but you're happy, but you're not happy. And then
they ask you how you are. You just have to say you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand. That's what I was trying to do earlier.
And during the montage, back at the diner, like, Caroline's still there, and, like, Damon's there, and he smiles at her. Because they're implying that he's going to go after Caroline.
They're good. They're going after Caroline.
And that's episode 1.
They also have, like, I think, like, one of the other scenes of note. Oh, there's 2 more things. One is that Vicky wakes up at the hospital.
Oh, yeah, Vicky's alive. She's just hurt.
And when
she
Matt
tells
asks
Matt,
her what attacked her, she's like, vampire. And Elena lets Stefan into her house.
Okay, I forgot that. That's important.
Yeah, that's like the last scene of the episode.
Yeah. And roll credits.
And, roll credits. Let's see. A few other songs. Oh, yeah, this is where Never Say Never by The Fray is playing during the montage.
Yep. Kids by MGMT.
Got Death by White Lies. Back to Me by All American
Stars.
Yeah. Back to Me by All American Rejects. Siren Song by Bat for Lashes. Thinking of You by Katy Perry at some point.
That is an early Katy Perry song.
That's an early Katy Perry song.
Yeah, that's like from her first album.
It's gotta be, yeah.
This is like probably even before I Kissed a Boy and I liked it. Or I Kissed a Girl and I liked it. I Kissed a Boy, I'm straight. No. Who figured?
Heteronormativity. Yeah.
What do you think of this episode?
This is it's a bit cluttered, but it's a pretty good start. Like, we get a lot up front for characters.
It is goofy as shit.
It is also
very goofy. But I feel like
goofy.
It also made sense.
Yeah.
It's just very goofy.
Oh, yeah.
Typically, we'd have an ending bit, but I haven't thought of one.
Just sort of, I think just kind of ending it off, just kind of giving our thoughts and, say thanks for watching, everybody. Like, we really hope that you will enjoy this this crazy journey through Vampire Diaries with us.
Yes. When we're done with Vampire Diaries, which will take a while because there's a fuckload of episodes.
It's like 22 episodes in this season, isn't there?
Yes, season 1 is 22 episodes, which is crazy.
That's a lot, because usually, isn't it like 13 episodes usually for a season order for like TV?
It might have been the episode factory era of just like, man, Supernatural's really getting like a following. Make 35 episodes.
Probably, yeah.
I didn't think we'd have so much to talk about. All right.
I know. We're very lucky. We were worried we were going to have to do, like, watch both, 2 episodes and have it for 1 episode.
1 episode's fine.
But no, 1 episode is fine. Wait, was this? Am I just learning now that I think this was written by Kevin Williamson?
It was
like
written by
the show?
Kevin Williamson?
The show? Like the episode? Was he a writer on this show? Oh my god, he was an executive producer.
Well,
cool.
Okay, cool.
All right. That's a weird little fact to end on. Yeah,
What did we say? What did we
do...
say at the end of these?
I don't know. Shit, we'll figure out an ending catchphrase at some point.
We will be working on having a Twitter or a Patreon or something. Twitter is kind of a shithole right now.
If necessary, we will set up a website for y'all.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you want to join us.
But until then, Vampire Diaries.
Vampire Diaries.
Roadhouse.
Baby man, little baby man, little baby, baby man, little baby man.